1,400 Army medics are now in Wuhan, ready to work in a newly built hospital for coronavirus patients, completed in just 9 days. The images of supplies on the way and more medical help on hand the Chinese government wants its people and the world to see. China has criticized the United States for no substantive help with the outbreak and accused the U.S. government of spreading fear and panic. The new facility is modeled after a similar hospital built outside Beijing during the SARS crisis 17 years ago. The number of dead from the coronavirus now exceeds that of SARS. A second Wuhan hospital is expected to be finished by the end of the week. Together, they will have 2,500 beds for those infected with the virus. There's frustration and anger on social media over conditions for the infected and doctors in Wuhan. China's central government, the first day back for essential workers after the prolonged holiday, focused on easing concern over the supply of needed medical equipment. It also looked to build confidence in the economy, the second largest in the world, after factories have been shut and businesses closed because of the virus.
As far as we know, many export companies are now quickly resuming their production capacity, and various localities are also taking targeted measures to help create a sound and favorable business environment. The central authorities and local governments have all made plans to introduce targeted measures to help businesses resume their operations.
During the first day of trading since the Lunar New Year break, the Chinese mainland markets closed sharply down, around 8%, shy of the 10% one-day decrease limit set by the markets. To help curb the slide, China's central bank injected $174 billion into the markets. But the spread of the virus is far from over, and the lockdown of millions of Chinese still does not have an end date. So the virus's impact on the future of China's financial markets and economy remains unclear. Scott Heidler, Al Jazeera, Beijing.
Casey Wall is CEO of Attuned. That is an employee motivation platform. He says fear over the outbreak is already changing company and workers' behavior.
I think we're just starting to see the impacts, and the fear is starting to take over. And here in Japan, people's behaviors are starting to change. Like realistically, we're only seeing like a 10 to 20% impact in tourist numbers type of thing on economy, rather than what we saw with like 90% with South Korean tourists last year when that fight was going on. But I think it's just the beginning. Like, it's really changing behaviors. Fear is becoming more pervasive. So there's a lot happening, right? I think you've seen like a selling out of masks. People can't get masks, and on the secondary market, the different apps that are selling those are selling 10 for like $100 here in Japan, for example. People are trying to stay out of public transportation. Here in Tokyo, for example, where we don't have so many cases yet, but fear is starting to happen. And people that have the ability to, drive around in a car, which is a luxury, are doing that to get to meetings rather than be on transportation. But specifically here for Japan, what I'm really hopeful can happen is remote work might actually really happen. So Japan has been talking about changing the work style for a long time. And now companies are starting to send their employees home and just stay away for a month or so. So I think we're starting to see people take actions, whether it's in Japan, whether it's in South Korea, Taiwan, or China, by the fear that we're seeing. So it is changing behavior a lot in economic and company behavior.